welcome to the Week 12 NFL Pick'em Show, brought to you by Gridiron Mo, a new interactive football app where you get to call what you think the offense or defense should do during a live NFL game and see what all other fans have called. Check out Gridiron Mo at www.gridironmo.com. Not sure how to start the show out, because I don't think I've ever been last at anything in my life, and I always introduce the last person who came in last first. So I'm your host in last place for this week, Mike Goodpaster. But I am first overall for the year. And let me introduce who's second overall for the year, Matt Andruscavage. How you doing tonight, Matt?
Doing good. I'm feeling good. I actually went 500 in another bizarre week in the NFL.
All three of you went 500. I was slightly below that by a game or two. Leon Searcy is in third place, still struggling way behind me, 5 games back. How you doing tonight, Leon?
I'm doing well. You say that with a lot of enthusiasm, too, that 5 games back. Won't be long. You keep peeking the Bengals, I'll catch up.
Well, this is the thing. Our next guest is Mark Cooper, who's been on a show 2 other times, and in those 2 shows he was 13 and 15, so he is actually 51 games behind me. How you doing tonight, Mark?
Well, isn't that interesting?
Stacking the deck.
I wonder who actually tallied that score, Mike.
Well, you've only been 2 weeks, and you were 13 and 15, and we can go back and check the tapes if you want, but that is 58 games behind me. The bad thing for me is even if you'd got everyone right, you'd still be like 40 games behind me. So it doesn't matter as long as I win. It doesn't matter what the rules are. I think next year I might just do the first 3 shows all by myself and then bring you guys on so I can win by even more.
That's all with you're trying.
Yeah.
All right, so what was the big takeaway from last week, Week 11, Mark?
Boy, I don't know. Brock Osweiler, let's start in Denver, I guess, because Brock got his first start and he got his first win against our boy Cutler. That was a big win for him, and, we're still trying to get the defense healthy, but, I'll talk about Denver for a second only because I'm here, and if we could even lose the next 3 games, win our division, and we can get healthy going into the playoffs, I think we got a pretty good run at it. Like you had mentioned a second ago, the Patriots are beat up a little bit, but we got them this week. That's going to be a big game because getting past that and winning in Foxborough in the playoffs is almost impossible, seems like, for us. But Kansas City's coming on as well, not that they played a powerhouse, but Green Bay kind of got back in the fold. I think, I picked Minnesota, believe it or not, and San Francisco is still kind of, dragging up the bottom, man. I don't know.
Yeah, they suck.
It's not good. Like I said, it is full-blown. They're just evaluating what they got. It's like preseason now. So whatever happens, happens.
All right, Leon.
My take of last week is probably the Patriots. There's a little chink in the armor. Last week against the Giants, that game was in the Giants' hand. They let it go. They dropped the interception. They could have easily won that game. And this game last Monday night against the Bills just blitzed them almost every other play. Their offensive line is suspect at best. They lost one of their best running backs. Brady's having to do a lot more. He's still Tom Brady. They're all undefeated. But I think somebody can get them. A team in the AFC at the right time, at the right moment. I think the Patriots are very beatable. They're not the 07 team that just ran through the NFL and went 16-0. I think this game against the Broncos, I think that the Broncos are going to get them this week. So there's a little chink in the armor when I see the Patriots play. Now, they're not the most dominating team in the AFC, to be quite honest with you. Just from their last 2 weeks of performance have just been suspect.
All right, Matt.
To me, I saw the emergence of the 2 teams that, for one, at least I saw the Arizona Cardinals, to me, are the most complete team in the NFC. Carolina is very good, but I'm just not sure I'm not sure I trust them at this point. But Arizona, to me, is the most complete team in the NFC. Their defense has really come together. They've got a very, very deep running back core and wide receiver core. Carson Palmer's playing well. They're very well coached. I think Arizona is going to run the table in the NFC. In the AFC, I understand everything about the Patriots. To me, they just keep winning games. It doesn't seem no matter who they throw in there, and they're going to get healthy by the playoffs. They're going to have Edelman back. The only guy that they're not going to have back is Deion Lewis. They're going to have their offensive line back. And I just think come playoff time, I just don't know if anybody can beat them in Foxborough.
Well, my take from that is Baltimore's beat them twice in the last 5 or 6 years there. Should have beat them 3 times by a good kicker. It's a different team, and their starting offensive line was not that good to begin with. I mean, that was the weakness of the team anyways. I mean, it'll get stronger. I don't think there's any way they're as good as what they were last year. They have to be the favorite in the NFC or AFC, I'll give you that. My takeaway from this whole week is this. What this is going to come down to is probably between Cincinnati, New England, Denver, and maybe Pittsburgh on who's the healthiest team. I mean, that's the biggest thing. When you watch Cincinnati, the defense goes from giving up 16 a game to losing 3 out of their 5 main DBs and giving up 31. You just talked about New England, Leon. Their offensive line goes out. They lose Edelman. Amendola's on and off the field. All of a sudden, they don't look that good anymore. So, I mean, I think the thing to me, the biggest thing in the NFL, it always has been, is staying healthy. And I think that every team's getting injuries. I think this is basically anymore a war of attrition in the NFL. The talent level from everybody's starters is fairly equal. The big drop-off you get with teams is like the Baltimore Ravens. They gave all the money to Joe Flacco a few years ago, and they haven't drafted well. Their depth's not there. So they lose 4 or 5 starters. All of a sudden, their hopes are out the window, and they're maybe the worst team in football now. So, I mean, the overall depth of the team anymore is what makes a really good football team. I think we're past the time of seeing a great team again in the NFL ever again, just because of the way the NFL set up parity-wise. I mean, you have to draft well, and in the free agency, I just don't think we're going to see too many great teams anymore. I think it just comes down to a war of attrition. Who are the teams that have drafted the best, and what teams can sustain injuries? But first game of the week, Philadelphia at Detroit. Mark Cooper, who I wanted to bring this up because it hadn't been brought up in a while, said 3 weeks ago the Denver Broncos had the greatest defense in NFL history. Go ahead, Mark.
You know what? I appreciate that again, once and for all. But here's one thing, Leon and Matt. Did you notice what he totally avoided talking about? His Bengals got their butt kicked by Arizona Cardinals, and he didn't mention that once, did he?
Don't expect them to.
Why would I bring that up? Because it had already been brought up earlier by Matt, who touched on the Cardinals. See, this is the thing. I'm a Bengals fan. You're a Broncos fan. You always have to bring up the Broncos no matter what, like you did at the start of this show. I'm more well-rounded and can talk about other teams. Mark, do you want to pick the Philadelphia-Detroit game?
You're well-rounded when the Bengals lose.
Hey, Matt, be quiet. You're a 49er fan. You have no right to ever talk again. Go ahead, Mark.
Detroit. Kryptonite, Mike.
Detroit, Leon.
Yeah, I got Detroit in this game. It's going to be hard to keep my food down watching this one. I go into Lions in this game, Thanksgiving.
I'll just eat a little later. Matt.
Yeah, I don't really like either team. It's not a secret. Never was impressed with the Eagles going into the year. Lions are playing good right now. They're at home, Thanksgiving. I'll go with the Lions.
All right. I'm going to go with Detroit just because Mark Sanchez is quarterback for Philadelphia. Leon, very interesting game. Carolina at Dallas.
Very interesting game. The return of Romo, and the Cowboys actually look good. It looked like a functioning offense with Romo back in the game. Of course, they were playing the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are just horrific. But I'm going to pick the Cowboys to win this game at home. I know Carolina's on a winning streak. Cam Newton's doing this thing. They got a very solid defense, but I think that team is rejuvenated because Romo's back. He doesn't seem to be as rusty as one thought he may have been, but I'm going to pick the Cowboys to win this game at home Thanksgiving.
All right, Matt?
I really see this. This is a matchup no matter where this is played. As long as Dallas is healthy, this is a toss-up game. This game could really go either way. I'm going to go with Carolina just because they seem to find ways to get it done, but it would not surprise me if Dallas won.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Dallas. I do believe Carolina is one of the better teams in football. Still not sold they're the best team in the NFC just because of the schedule they played. And, I mean, if you look at it, with the schedule they play, they might be more apt to go 16-0 than New England. I mean, Carolina only plays, I think, one team left that has a winning record, and that's at Atlanta, and I think Atlanta's already been exposed. So I'm going to go with Dallas. Mark?
Carolina's has been going the way of Green Bay early in the season, so I'm going with Dallas. I think Romo's back. Dez and Romo have hooked up 50 times compared to Aikman's and Irvin's 49 times, and none of us knew that, I'm sure, because that's such an odd stat. And,
I know it.
Yeah, because I told you.
I was going to say I knew it too, but that's because you told us.
but this is going to be their first loss, so it's going to be kind of fun to watch. I love the Cowboys' offensive line, and I love the way they scheme, and I love some of the trap plays they do. And with Romo back, I think they'll get rolling.
All right, Matt, Chicago at Green Bay.
Chicago, Green Bay. Well, I think with Matt Forte coming back, I think that's going to help him a little bit. I don't know if Alshon Jeffrey's going to play. I think the Bears are going to really look to try to spoil. It's a very special night. Bart Starr making a very courageous return to Lambeau. They're going to honor Brett Favre. I do think Green Bay's going to win the game. Chicago might be in it by halftime, but after halftime, I see Green Bay blowing this wide open.
Yeah, I believe the Bears could hang with him for a while, but we know Jay Cutler. Even if they hang for him a while, he's going to throw a stupid pass. It's going to be picked off at some point and cost them the game. It's a big night for Green Bay. They're honoring the greatest quarterback in Packer history, Bart Starr. So I'm going to go with Green Bay. Mark?
Green Bay beat up on Minnesota pretty good, and I thought Minnesota would take them last week. And I saw, the way Cutler played against the Broncos was prototypical, and I'm not a big Cutler fan from the get-go, so I'm going with Green Bay.
All right. Leon?
Yeah, I'm going with Green Bay, too. They seem to got their swirl back a little bit. I thought there was going to be a change of the guard last week with them playing the Vikings, but they just hammered the Vikings on both sides of the ball. I think Aaron Rodgers has got his little swag back again, and I'm not really a big Jake Cutler fan, although he's not been old Jake and then tossing the interceptions that he usually does, but just something about him being in Lambeau just doesn't resonate with me. So I'm going to go with the Packers with a win.
All right. Next game, actually a lot of playoff implications. Buffalo at Kansas City. I guess that's mine. I like Buffalo, but with Tyrod Taylor banged up, they got a lot more injuries in Kansas City. Even though Kansas City lost Charles, his backup West has been playing very well. Not a big fan of Alex Smith, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs. Mark, what do you think?
Chiefs all the way across the board. I mean, these guys have been a nemesis to Denver forever. They, pounded San Diego back into the ocean, and they just seem to, play real well, and they get better as the season goes. I think it's not even going to be close. All
right, Leon?
Yeah, I think the Chiefs, the way they dismantled the Chargers, especially when they play at home, this is going to be a defensive battle for sure. Both teams have pretty excellent defenses. And like you said, Tyrod Taylor being banged up with the Bills, I just don't see him in Arrowhead having a chance, to be quite honest with you. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs in this one.
All right, Matt?
Yeah, Kansas City is going to win this game. The thing about the Chiefs is they're playing very well. They have a very balanced offense, like you mentioned, West, filling in nicely for Jamal Charles. As long as Alex Smith doesn't make mistakes, the defense can bail him out, and the secondary is better than it was earlier in the season. So I see Kansas City just pretty much running this game start to finish.
All right. Before we go to our next game, we're going to take a break and check out our new sponsor, SteelbergBox.com.
I'd like to tell you about our new website, www.steelbergbox.com. A monthly fan box service built to take a fan's passion for the Pittsburgh Steelers to a whole new level. Offering 3 different fan boxes to choose from and several different plans, fans are guaranteed to get way more value in their box than they paid. It's simple. Drop by www.steelbergbox.com. Choose the category and size: men, women, youths, and infants. Then, pick one of our 3 Steelers merchandise fan boxes. After you choose your fan box, hit subscribe. Then choose your monthly plan. You're done. Go Steelers.
right, welcome back to the Week 12 NFL Pick'em Show, brought to you by Gridiron Mo. Leon, I'm sure that you're probably going to check out SteelbergBox.com for Christmas, right?
Absolutely.
Definitely, guys, it's a new business. They are having a huge sale on Black Friday, so make sure you check out SteelbergBox.com. All right, our next game will be the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Seattle Seahawks, Mark.
Well, I like Pittsburgh. I like Big Ben being back. Seattle hasn't been quite as strong this year. I got a lot of ex-buddies and buddies, so I kind of watch the Steelers more than I probably watch the Sea Dogs. And I'm just going to go with the Steelers based on Big Ben stepping up and he had a week off last week, so he's healing up a little bit nicer probably and ready to roll. And they've had more time to game plan for Seattle, so I'm a Steeler guy this week.
All right, Leon?
Yeah, I'm glad Big Ben is back. I'm a little concerned about that pass rush, especially in Seattle. That front four is no joke against the Steelers' offensive line. They've had trouble all season protecting Big Ben. He's been injured the last couple of times. Not really impressed with Seattle's offense. I think they're going to get after the Steelers defensively. So we're going to have to establish the run, protect Big Ben, and that's going to be a hassle, to be quite honest with you. But I think the Steelers are going to have enough firepower on offense to probably put up a little bit more points than the Seahawks. So I'm going to go with the Steelers, of course, and be a homer.
All right, Matt.
I've been back and forth all day on this pick. Seattle being at home, they're very, very difficult to beat there, though they have lost. I think I know Carolina beat them there. I don't remember if anybody else
Arizona
did.
beat them there.
Yeah, that's right. Arizona beat them there, too. Boy, if Le'Veon Bell is playing, I'd for sure take Pittsburgh. But even though Le'Veon Bell isn't there, I am going to switch my pick, and I am going to take Pittsburgh in an upset to win in Seattle.
All right, Pittsburgh, Seattle. I'm going to take Seattle, and it's not just because I'm a Bengals fan, even though Leon will say it is. I'm going to go with Seattle just because it's not so much the pass rush you got to worry about with Big Ben. I think it's going to be the lack of pass rush against Seattle. I think Russell Wilson can run the ball a little bit. He doesn't have anybody to throw it to. And let's face it, I'm just going with Seattle because they're the home team, and they usually don't lose there. They're, 5-5. They're in a must-win situation to get to the playoffs. They're a little bit more desperate than Pittsburgh, so I'm going to go with Seattle. All right, we'll go to the next game. Who's picking next here? That would be Leon, St. Louis at Cincinnati.
I'm going with Cincinnati in this game. St. Louis has been a big disappointment. I thought going into the early part of the season, this was going to be a surprise wild card team, but they seem to be fluttering as the season goes along. They haven't been as dominant as they should defensively. I just think the Bengals, quite honestly, have just too much firepower on offense. And the Bengals' defense is pretty stellar, and I just think they're going to get up to the quarterback, and they're going to control the game from start to finish. So I'm going to go with the Bengals to win this game easily.
All right, Matt.
I think the Rams could potentially slow down the Bengal offense to a point. The problem is I don't think they'll be able to do it for long enough. And even if they were able to do it long enough, their offense just isn't going to be able to put up the points with the lack of quarterback. Unless Todd Gurley has a 300-yard game, I don't see any way the Bengals will lose this game. They need to get back on track, and I think they'll be able to do that this week. So I'll go with the Bengals.
Yeah, I think the Bengals win this game by 38-3, something like that. I think they're – well, you can laugh all you want there, Bronco man. But let's see. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, the Rams have no offense. They've got Todd Gurley, who ran the ball 12 times for, I think, 53 yards last week. The problem's going to be this. If you could stop the Bengals long enough to establish your run, that's fine. But what happens when all of a sudden you're 6 minutes in, 10 minutes in, and the game's 14-0? I think Arizona's defense as a whole is much better than St. Louis's, and the Bengals put 31 points on them. So I'm going to go with the Bengals. Mark Cooper, of course, will have to pick St. Louis the way he laughed there.
No, it's not about laughing. It's just, Bengals got so spanked last week, and they're so embarrassed.
They lost by 3 points.
They're hiding,
they lost by 3 points
this week. So,
The greatest defense of all time went to Indianapolis and got
Hey, this is my pick.
He gave up 31 points. Do you want to pick or you want to pass?
He can't help it. He can't help it, Mark.
Isn't that a shame?
Hey, 49er man, be quiet. Guys with real teams in the playoffs are talking right now.
Okay, the Bengals win.
Okay. I didn't mean to bully you into that, Mark. All right, let's see.
Dragging his feet.
Matt, the New Orleans Saints at the Houston Texans. I always want to say the Houston Oilers, but at the Houston Texans.
I know, I do too. The Saints are interesting when they're a lot more interesting when they're at home. I think they'll probably give the Texans a bit of a fight, but I think the Texans are all of a sudden finding a little bit of an identity. They definitely look a little bit better on offense, and because of the way their division is, they find themselves in a position where they're competing for the playoffs amazingly. So, as we've talked about before, the Texans really could find themselves sitting at first place in that division, and I think they're going to be able to get it done against the Saints.
All right, I'm going to take Houston. They played well the last 2 weeks. They beat probably the best team in the AFC, the Cincinnati Bengals, and they haven't played the greatest defense yet, but I'm going to go with Houston. The quarterback play, Yates is good enough to get them by with their defense. The Saints' defense is terrible. I mean, I think this is a game where Alfred Blue might actually rush for over 100 yards, which I don't know how many times that's happened, but I'm going to go with Houston. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I got to go with Houston. I think wins out of the Saints' sails, and Yates threw for almost 230 yards last week, and I think he's starting to come into his own. So Houston's tough to beat in Houston when they're playing well, and I think the Saints haven't been playing very well lately.
All right, Leon?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Houston, too. They are playing well the last 2 weeks, and believe it or not, in their division, I mean, they're leading the division, which is pretty amazing the way they started the season. But I just think that Houston is just a better team. Saints just can't find their way when they're not at home, and that defense is just horrible. I think the Houston Texans are going to win the game.
All right, next game, I guess to start that off, San Diego at the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to go with the Jaguars. I mean, they've got nothing left in San Diego but Phillip Rivers, and unfortunately he can't do it without guys to throw to. I think Melvin Gordon's been a little bit of a disappointment for him this year, so I'm going to go with the Jaguars. I think they're a solid young team that's going to be really good in a year or two, and since they're in the AFC South, they might even be able to make a run at the playoffs this year. They're only a game out. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, I'm a Jaguar guy. Phillip Rivers, I don't really care for him to start out with just because of the way he acts sometimes on the field. But, they're just beat up. They're tired. I think they got to dig themselves out of a deep hole, and I think I'm going to take the Jaguars.
All right, Leon. We already know who Leon's playing and picking the Jaguars.
Hey, listen, I'm going to pick the Jaguars, But, listen, they're a good young team, and they're in a division where they can actually, they can win some games and gain some confidence, and I think that's what they've been doing the last couple of weeks. In the Chargers have just been dismantled. I mean, what the Chiefs did them last week was just atrocious. I mean, Phillip Rivers is just, I don't know, they gave him that big contract, and it just seems he's going to just be another guy once his career is over with. Thought that, there'll be a team that can make a playoff run, maybe in the Super Bowl run, but just hasn't panned out for him. So I'm going to go with the Jaguars at home win.
Matt?
Yeah, I'm going to pick Jacksonville as well. It is definitely a shame to watch what Phillip Rivers is having to deal with. He's having a good season, he really is. But Melvin Gordon's been a disappointment, like you mentioned. Keenan Allen's out. The offensive line is really beat up. The defense isn't doing much. Even when he's able to will them very close, they just can't seem to close out a victory. Jacksonville, you watch them, boy, they got those two Allens at wide receiver, Julius Thomas at tight end. Even Yeldon, the rookie running back, is pretty good. I like Bortles. And like you said, the AFC South, they actually have a chance to compete for the playoffs. So there's really no reason to like San Diego in this game. I think Jacksonville's going to find a way to win this game.
All right. Mark, Tampa Bay at Indianapolis.
Oh, boy. Luck's still out, but they've been playing good. Their defense has played well against the Broncos. They can bring it off the edges. I'm sticking with the Colts, even though they're luckless. Like that one this week. And, Colts
brilliant,
win it.
Mark. Brilliant.
All right. Thought you didn't know it.
No, I said that was brilliant. I didn't say you were brilliant.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you said he was.
All right, Leon.
I'm gonna go with the Colts in this game. Although the Buccaneers did look pretty good last week. I mean, Jameis Winston throws for 5 touchdowns in the game. Got a decent run game. Offensive line showed up finally. But I just think them playing the Colts at home, although they don't have Andrew Luck, Hasselbeck did look nice in pulling out the victory. I just think that defensively they're going to put a lot of pressure on Jameis. Might cause him to make a couple of mistakes in the game. So I'm going to go with the Colts at home in a victory.
All right, Matt.
I'm actually going to go with Tampa in this game. Not that either team is really good, but Tampa looks like they're just kind of getting it together a little bit. If Doug Martin is able to run, I don't see the Colts defense really doing a lot to stop this offense. If Doug Martin's causing problems, Jameis Winston doesn't make mistakes. They got enough guys, especially now with Vincent Jackson back. Is their tight end coming back too? His tight end is pretty good. I can never remember his name. He's got kind of a bizarre name, but he's pretty good too. If he's coming back, that's just a well-rounded team. And even though Matt Hasselbeck is solid at 40 years old, I don't think the Colts. I don't think they're going to even really be in this playoff race near the end. I think someone's going to overtake them in the South.
All right. I hate to do this, but I'm going to agree with Matt. I keep changing my mind on this pick, so if we have to do multiple shows, I might change it back to Indy again. But I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. I think they got too many weapons. When you think about it, Vincent Jackson, Mike Evans, Doug Martin, as Matt said. Winston's kind of hit and miss. One week he throws 5 touchdown passes. But the thing is this, they went to Philadelphia, not a great team, but a tough place to play, and they beat them. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. Leon, Miami at the Jets.
This is a picking game for me, to be quite honest with you. Both of these teams have been kind of a disappointment this season. They always come into the season with high expectations. The Jets, early on in the season, their defense, we just thought they'd be rock solid. Then you see them go up against a team like the Bills, and they just run through them. The Dolphins, they're supposed to have a stellar front four, and they can't stop their run. They can't get any pass rush in the game. Tannehill hasn't panned out as he should. But this is a rivalry game in New York. I think the Jets come away with a squeaker. Maybe they win by a field goal. So I'm going to take the Jets in this one.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Jets, too. I think the Jets are on the brink of being out of the playoff race. It's the same old formula. If they can get Chris Ivory going, he hasn't been himself in the last couple of weeks. I don't know exactly what's wrong there. I don't know if he's banged up or not. But Powell's played all right in this place when they've brought him in. As long as Fitzpatrick doesn't throw the game away like he did against the Texans, I think the Jets will win this game. But like Leon said, both teams have really been a disappointment. Tannehill, one moment he looks great, the next moment he doesn't. But I'll go with Jets in a close game.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jets also. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, throw the Dolphins on the grill and serve them up with some manatee. It's over.
Are you allowed to eat dolphin?
Yeah, no, dolphin fish, but not dolphin mammal. The Jets will fly away with this game. You liked that one too, did you?
It was brilliant once again, Mark. We're going to have you write a book of quotes, and we'll just put them out, and we'll all be millionaires.
Don't count your money yet. Don't count your money yet.
Okay. Hey, Matt, Minnesota at Atlanta, you got any funny puns associated with the game?
Oh.
I think next week it ought to be everybody has to have a pun for each game, or they're not allowed to pick it.
Oh boy, I think the Falcons will just be able to. I can't even come up with a good pun on that. I don't even know what to say to these two teams. No, I'm actually going to take the Vikings in this game. I don't think Atlanta's playing well right now. I don't know what the condition is of Devontae Freeman. He had the concussion, but I think Atlanta really is the paper tiger of the NFC. The Vikings, I think they're going to be able to bounce back. I don't know that they're totally ready to take control of their division. They really had a chance last week, and they didn't play well. But I think they'll bounce back and beat Atlanta.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Atlanta's very good. I think Dan Quinn's a good coach, though, and he'll eventually be good. But I'm going to go with Minnesota. Mark, any good puns?
No, Minnesota will beat the Falcons this week. I mean, yeah, they both lost last week, and I like Teddy Bridgewater. I think he's just getting better and better every week. And I think once he matures with that running game, they'll get back in that division hunt. But I'm going with the Vikes.
All right, Leon.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Vikes too. I think this last week against Green Bay, there was an opportunity to seize the division. I think Green Bay just punched them in the mouth. I think the Falcons are just, like you said, Matt, they're paper champions. They start off blazing early in the season. They've lost 4 straight. I just think the Vikings is their opportunity to bounce back. And I like Teddy Bridgewater. I like that defense. I like the running game. I like his development as a quarterback. And I think they go in there, Atlanta, and win. So I'm going to take the Vikings in this one.
All right, the next game, I guess, is mine. The Giants at Washington. I think Washington's a bad team. I think the Giants are an average team, so I'm going to take the Giants. Mark?
Yeah, it's just tough. Boy, it's just tough to pick the Redskins anymore. They just find ways to lose. I think Manning will go in there and have a good game. So I'm a Giants guy this week.
All right, Leon?
Yeah, I got the Giants. I mean, this is going to be an easy one. The Redskins are just a poor football team. I think the Giants might play their Super Bowl against the Patriots, but they still got an outside shot in winning their division, and the Redskins are just bad. So this will be an easy win for the Giants. I'm going to pick the Giants to win this one.
All right, Matt?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like either team. I don't think either one of these teams are very good. They both can show signs like, that all of a sudden they'll play good, but I think this week it'll just kind of come down to just Eli and Odell Beckham. I don't really see a lot on either side, but I think the Giants will be able to win this game. I'll take New York.
All righty. Who's up next here? That would be Mark, right?
You got it.
Mark, game of the week. The Arizona Cardinals at the San Francisco 49ers. Is that a pun when I say it's the game of the week? Is that a pun?
Maybe we can find a high school team to play in their place. But how do you not pick Arizona?
Well, it better be a team from Montana. There's no way in hell the Niners are winning.
The Cards, baby, the Cards. They're going to pick them apart.
A little pun. I like that. All right, Leon. Arizona at San Francisco.
This is going to be a beatdown. I'm picking the Cardinals. They're just a more complete team. I mean, this team is definitely a team that's going to contend in the AFC and possibly make a Super Bowl run. The 49ers are in shambles. They're just a horrible team, bad all around. But it's still a rivalry game, and they'll probably give them a good quarter, and then the Cardinals will probably put 40 on them in the end. So
good minute and a half.
Yeah, I give them kickoff. It'll probably be like 42 to 10, so I'm going with the Cardinals in this one.
All right, Matt, everybody else has picked their teams. Are you going to pick yours?
No. I want to win the pickup contest.
Come on, Matt.
No, the Cardinals are the best team in the NFC. I don't think the thing about the Niners is, that Blaine Gabbert has actually not played. He's not played that bad.
For Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah, exactly. But I was expecting worse. I'm actually surprised a little bit at what I've seen. The problem is they just don't have enough weapons, and they just don't have enough on defense. They've had a lot of injuries too, and I think they'll probably play a little bit of inspired ball early on. Might be able to make it a game. But I think what the Cardinals will probably end up doing is it'll be close, and then right before halftime, they'll probably score and then get the ball. So they'll be able to blow it up. They'll probably blow it up in the third quarter. Niners will lose by probably 2 or 3 touchdowns, but it is what it is.
Well, to give you hope, San Francisco is coming off, or Arizona's coming off 2 huge wins, so maybe they'll have a letdown.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah, well, I think they'd have a letdown and still win this game 27-0. So
yeah, that would be a letdown for them.
I'm going to pick Arizona, as Mark said, to peck San Francisco to death. All righty, let's see. Leon, Oakland at Tennessee.
Oakland at Tennessee. Your Raiders have been a bit of a disappointment. Early on, everybody had them as their wild card pick. They had a nice little run to beat some teams they weren't supposed to beat. And they should beat this team. The Titans, although they have made improvements, they have been in some games, I just think the Raiders are a much more talented team, and they should go into Tennessee and win. But who knows, just the way they've been playing the last couple of weeks. But I got to pick them over the Titans. The Titans are just not that good of a team, and they're not that talented of a team. So I'm going to take the Raiders in this one.
All right, Matt?
Yeah, I think Leon pretty much said what I was thinking too. The Raiders should win this game, but you just don't know. I mean, the Titans could end up, stealing this one. But I'll pick the Raiders, but wouldn't be surprised at the outcome either way.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Oakland. I've been surprised by how well Mariota's played this year, his first year, and kind of killed a team when they lost him for 3 games. I think Oakland just has too much talent for him. Mark?
Yeah, you just said it all right there, just more talent. I mean, you got, Carr's playing well. Mark Cooper's catching the ball well. Defense is playing better and better every week. Tennessee just doesn't have the tools, and the Raiders are just going to outclass them with talent this week.
All right, real quick, before we get to our last 2 games of the week, we're going to take a message from our sponsor, Gridiron Mo. Check out this.
This is former All-Pro Leon Searcy. I've got a new interactive app called Gridiron Mo, where you get to call the plays, offense or defense, and a live NFL game. You get to interact with other fans, pick the play, pick the call. That's Gridiron Mo.
Welcome back to the Week 12 NFL Pick'em Show, brought to you by the sponsor you just heard on the commercial, Gridiron Mo, and by SteelbergBox.com. Next game, who's up first here?
Might be me. I haven't.
It might be you, but it might not be.
I don't know though.
I don't know. Pick it over between 1 and 10, Mark.
Am I up?
Yeah, pick it over between 1 and 10. We can't remember who went last.
Let's just talk about the best defense in the kind of was a little while ago.
I was going to do Baltimore Cleveland next, but we can go ahead. Well, let's go. We'll start off with Mark. Mark, New England at the team with the greatest defense of all time, the Denver Broncos.
A few weeks ago, that was accurate, but it's
I don't think it was. They got 31 points that week to Indianapolis.
Well, yeah. You know what? Belichick is going to have a scheme for Osweiler, and being it's his second game, his start, I'd love to pick the Broncos. And but I just think even though they're coming here, going to play in Mile High, I just think Belichick will probably out-scheme Osweiler a little bit and have some surprises for us. So unfortunately, this is going to be a tough road to hoe going back through there for the playoffs. But I'm picking the Patriots.
All right, Leon.
Wow. I'm going to pick the Broncos in this game. Like I said earlier, they still got the greatest quarterback in the NFL in Tom Brady. Belichick, still probably one of the best coaches in the NFL. He's going to have a game plan for the Broncos. But, this is, I think, is going to be a statement game for the Broncos at home. I think that defense is going to get after Brady. They're going to taper him down a little bit. I think Osweiler is going to have a decent game. I think they're going to run the ball effectively against the Patriots. I think they're going to put pressure on Tom Brady. And I think they're going to come away with the victory. I think they're going to win late. So I'm going to pick the Broncos.
All right, Matt.
I'm going to continue to pick the Patriots. I don't think it's going to be a really pretty game. But the reason why I think the Patriots, they'll be able to score 20 to 23 points. But I think their defense is going to show that they're a lot better than what people think. I think they're going to slow down the run game. I think that'll be the first focus. And once they're able to do that, I think they're going to be able to force a turnover or two from Osweiler, which I think will be the difference in the game.
Yeah, I just don't see with Brock Osweiler there in Denver winning the game. Belichick's going to come out with a bunch of different kind of zones. He's going to do stuff that Osweiler's probably never seen before. I mean, he's done it to Peyton Manning for years, and Manning still hadn't figured it out, so I don't know why Osweiler would. I would like to see Denver win because then that would put the Bengals just a game out of the number 1 seed. And then when the Bengals play the Broncos, Mark could come down here for the game, and I could act like I got tickets, but I don't, just to get even with him for all the mean things he says to me. So I would go New England, and that will leave Leon with the game of the week, the Baltimore Ravens at the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, God, really? It's a Monday night game? They can't reschedule this?
Remember this, Baltimore's beaten. Baltimore, one of their wins this year was against Pittsburgh. I was just bring that up.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm just going to pick the Ravens. Hell, I'm going to pick the Ravens.
Who's going to be the Ravens quarterback?
I don't know.
I think it's Earl Morrall.
I can't pick the Browns.
Anthony Wright.
Earl
Morrall passed away.
Well, I mean, yeah, he'd have to play for Cleveland then. All right, Matt, Baltimore or Cleveland?
I think Cleveland's going to win this game. Baltimore, I just really don't know where they're going to score any points. I think Forsett is still hurt, too. No Forsett, no Steve Smith. Yeah, Forsett, Steve Smith, Flacco. I mean, who is on this offense?
That's their team right there, the 3 of those.
Right, and then the defense is banged up, too. So I think Cleveland, I think they have some weapons that can hurt Baltimore with Barnage at tight end and Benjamin at wide receiver. I think they can run the ball a little bit. I don't think they're going to have to play great to win this game. I think Cleveland's going to win.
Yeah, I agree. I think Cleveland beats Baltimore even if Johnny Manziel plays. What do you think, Mark?
I like Josh McCown. I really do. And with Flacco out, boy, and the Ravens are beat up, and they haven't played that well even when he's been in. So I like Josh McCown enough to take that win easy with Cleveland over the Ravens.
Yeah. Well, any final last words, Leon?
No, not really. I'm looking forward to seeing that Patriots-Bronco game. I'm glad I'm the only one picked it, so I'm going to look really good next week when they win.
Or like normal, you look really bad and fall another game behind us.
But no, I'm looking at the schedule here. I think that's going to probably be the game of the week. I think it's going to be a lot better game than people are giving it credit for. I know Peyton Manning's not playing, but I just think the Broncos, they can't fall behind in the playoff run, and they've got their nemesis coming into their stadium. I think they're going to play well lights out. I think they're going to get away with a victory. I'm looking forward to that game, and also the Steelers game. I want to see. The Seahawks may not be the team they were the last couple of years. I just want to see the Steelers stay healthy, and they get in the playoff. They're going to do damage to whoever they play out there.
All right, Matt.
Well, I think I'm going to definitely need that Carolina pick over Dallas because Mike's so afraid that I'm going to catch him. He picked almost all the same games I picked. So
yes, that's what it was. You're dead on there. Even the games that I picked first, I guess those 4 don't count. Because I would like to bring up the fact that every game that I picked before you picked the same thing. When I picked after you, I picked
You already know my picks. I texted them to you 5 hours ago.
Do you really think that
I really
prepared enough to look at them? Really? You think I really looked at them?
You're scared. I know you're scared.
Oh, I'm scared to death. I'm shaking in my boots.
I know you are.
I'm like Johnny Manziel when the police come through the door at the party.
He can't just stay out of the news for nothing.
No, that's just gonna throw his career away.
That's sad. He'll be a 30 for 30 candidate, won't he?
Yeah, he's a 30. He's a big time one.
No doubt.
I don't know what you would call that. He's beyond 30 for 30. His ass is going to be on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
They'll be interviewing him in jail, trying to figure out what the hell went wrong.
Jeez, I hope not.
But all right, Mark.
Well, like you said, Patriots-Broncos is probably the game of the week. You got, the first-rated offensive passing game against the first-rated defensive defending. So that'll be a nice matchup. And boy, the first defensive. What was that again? Yeah, they're only giving up. They're the first, on average yards. They rank first. Denver's
defense.
But
you know what? Who gives up less points a game, the Bengals or the Broncos?
You guys just gave up how many points, Mike?
Yeah, but who gives up less points a game?
Yeah, he forgets
how many
that
points?
All the time. Yeah, like 31.
You guys still number one after giving up 30? How many points?
34.
Give up 31 or 34. Yeah, against
So you guys
Arizona.
still number one?
Denver gave up 31 to the freaking Colts. I
don't know. I'm just saying, though, are you guys still number one in points?
I don't know, but we're better than Denver.
I'm just reading the stats.
Yeah, but nobody cares about how many yards you give up. The only defensive ranking that matters is points allowed.
Oh,
are you saying it's not?
No, yeah.
So you are saying that?
You know what? Enough of the Bengals, because look, anybody that wears a Barnum and Bailey circus helmet shouldn't even be in this conversation.
You got a freaking horse with snot coming out its nose on your helmet.
It don't even matter if you're right. It's fun to rattle your cage, Mike.
Nobody's rattling my cage. Do I sound rattled? I'm not a 49er fan. I'm not completely defenseless here.
Big week in Denver, baby, but I just don't think they've got the horses like that one.
Yeah, like the one with the snot coming out of his nose on their helmet. And why did they switch to uniforms? Because the uniforms you wore,
I like
the
old uniforms better.
You know, I like them better, but it's kind of odd. I played for Denver and for Tampa, and they both switched uniforms, so maybe I did something wrong.
Yeah, and I like the old uniforms better. Because, I mean, hell, you had the creamsicle gay pirate on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers one. Who wouldn't like that?
Creamsicle.
You know, that was called baby shit orange.
I thought it was cream. You can't say shit on the radio, Mark.
Too late.
It's all right now because I said it too. So we don't need to edit that out. So it's just you know, Bengal fans don't cuss much because it shows a sign of a lack of intelligence when you curse. So I try to stay away from that. Bronco fans cuss all the time when we have them on. You ever notice that, Matt?
Yeah, occasionally. But I do. But I also remember you telling me a lot how you curse at TV.
I don't curse at the TV.
You told me that many times.
I'm a Bengal fan. I basically just sit brain dead and wait for bad shit to happen.
Brain dead. Okay.
I think it's old Matt. You know, when the Bengals were 7-0, 8-0, I just sat there waiting for the loss. I wasn't wanting to go 16-0. The last thing I wanted to see was the Bengals go undefeated into the Super Bowl or the playoffs.
I do have to ask, though, did your dog watch the last two games?
Yes, and that's really a problem. I mean,
Just
because
saying,
my dog
you were going on about your dog all year.
You dog?
Leon, am I wrong about that?
Well, see, my dog is a lab, and labs are assholes the first 3 years they're alive. All they want to do is bite on you and stuff. So we just let them out.
I didn't just pull that out of the air, though, right, Leon? You did bring up the dog a few times, right?
It's true.
Oh, yeah, you did.
We call it, my dog's name is Rambo. And if the Bengals are behind all year, we'd bring him in from outside. We'd call it a Rambo rally. He'd run around the house, and they'd win. Now, the problem is the last 2 weeks it's been a little colder, and he's kind of a puss. And he wants to stay in the house all the time, and he hadn't been outside, so when we fall behind, there can be no rally.
So that's why. So he doesn't go outside in the wintertime. That explains January.
Well, see, that's being a smartass because if you just paid attention, he's only been allowed in the house for the last year because he was an asshole before that. See, it's just like, Matt, if you lived in my house, I'd put you out back on the chain because you're an asshole, too.
Yeah, truth hurts. I know.
Hey, what did he say about people who cuss all the time?
Like, asshole's not cussing. That is a noun. If it's a noun, it's not a cuss word.
It's a noun. It's not a cuss word.
Yeah.
Make these rules up on the fly.
A person, place, or a thing. An asshole's a thing, correct, Leon?
I believe it is.
See, and Leon went to the University of Miami, too.
That's
so he knows all that stuff.
Butthole.
Butthole's another, but butthole just makes you sound stupid when you say butthole. Yeah, when you say asshole, people know what you're talking about.
There you go. It's all in the delivery.
It's in the delivery and how you say it. Your phonics has to be correct when you say it, or just it loses.
Got to write this down, and it's a man law.
All you kids out there listening to this, remember that came from a Bengal.
Oh, if there's kids listening to this, they really need to be studying, or you'll end up like all of us.
Exactly.
But all right, I guess everybody's had their final word. So make sure you check out SteelbergBox.com. We got a big sale coming up, Black Friday. Make sure you check out their website, www.steelbergbox.com. Check out Gridiron Mo at www.gridironmo.com. Check out Mark Cooper's new website. It's www.delusional.com. Yeah, there's all kind of stories on there about the Broncos having the greatest defense of all time.
I was like, oh, wow, Mark Cooper's got a cool website.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
It is. He does. I'm going to start it for him. I just went on GoDaddy and bought the domain name.
Oh, my God.
But make sure y'all check out all the Grueling Truth shows on their Facebook page. You can check us out on Spreaker, Stitcher, and multiple other formats. Make sure you check out the boxing show from this week with former light heavyweight contender, ESPN boxing analysis, John Scully. I almost didn't say analysis straight. That could have been a cuss word, too. Also, the Cincinnati Bengals show, which will be out tomorrow, the greatest football team in the world, where we have myself, my co-host, former linebacker Joe Kelly. I figured Mark would say something smart about that since they beat the Bengals in 1986, and I think he was there. But that was one of them fixed NFL games, too. And our guest tonight was former wide receiver from the University of Tennessee, played on the Bengals Super Bowl 23 team, Tim McGee. So make sure you check out all the Grueling Truth shows. Leon, your Twitter feed is?
At Leon Searcy 72.
All right, how many followers you got?
Not enough.
How many you got?
1,700, I believe.
You got 17? I got 21,000 now.
Oh, my God.
I just figured I'd bring that up.
You can buy those. Followers.
You can where? Because I'll have 100,000 then. You can check mine. Mine are all real people and very few Vietnamese.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I was going to ask if they were.
Check it out. It's legit. Okay. I didn't know I could buy them. I wouldn't spend money for them anyways. I'm broke. So, Mark, you going to come back and do the show next week?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. It'll be the same time as normal, not the doubleheader thing we did today. So
you bet.
Let's see if we get Gil to come back on. I feel bad about that, but
yeah, Gil's good people.
Yeah, if it's not there, it's not there. But I sent him a message about it. So, but hey, make sure you check all the Grueling Truth shows out. And for Mark Cooper, Leon Searcy, Matt Andruscavage, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to the Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.